Hey everybody, it's Scott from Scott Cooks. Today, something a little different. Guac and Clod. I'm sure you saw that title and you're going like, Scott's done lost his friggin' mind again. All right, here in the Southwest, maybe other places, I don't know, there's such a thing as a Clod steak. C-L-O-D, Clod steak. I know what you're probably thinking when you first hear that. Clod, clot, blood, no, none of that. It's just a piece of meat from a cow from the shoulder region. It's called the Clod steak. Sometimes they might call it a shoulder steak. We'll get you a closer look here in a minute, but this is what it looks like. Kind of like a thin roast. And that's really how you can think of it. So it's a tough piece of meat because shoulder, muscular. The cow's moving all the time. So we're going to slow cook this thing in a sous vide. Way longer than I normally do a steak. I do a steak for like 140 degrees for like 2 hours. We're going to do this for more like 6 to 8 hours at 140 degrees. And that's what we're going to do. And guac, what is guac? Well, you know what guac is. It's guacamole. So I'm going to make a homemade guacamole. Slow cook this in a sous vide, the steak, and we're going to put the guac on the steak or dip it in or eat it with it somehow. Let's go. All right, first thing we're gonna do is make a little homemade guacamole. It is so easy, guys. Don't buy that stuff that's already made in the store. I'll just save you the time and the money. It is quite terrible. Avocado. Get one that's a little squishy. Little squishy. See it right there. We're ready to use. Here in the Southwest, these are readily available. They're fresh. And I live very close to the California border and very close to the Mexico border. So these come across both borders, and that's usually where the avocados are grown. Here's a quick trick for you. Split it this way, lengthwise. The pit, take your serrated knife, stab it, and give it a twist. It's out. Easy, easy, easy. We're going to do that to 4 of these. Let's get the bowl back in action. All right. Spoon. Scooper. Scoop them right out. Get everything out of that skin. It's really nothing bad in an avocado inside. It's all good to eat. All right, and there it is. So we're going to go ahead and do that to the other 3 as well. Alright guys, everyone has their own little favorite way to make guacamole. So I'm just going to show you the basic ingredients and you can decide on the quantities for yourself. So next up for me is going to be a little white onion. Yellow might work, but I prefer the white onion here. And we're just going to chop up a little bit very finely and mix it in. A little bit of onion. You're going to need some minced garlic. Either mince it by hand or cheat like I'm about to do. At least a tablespoon. Just use the same spoon. You can go 2 tablespoons. You know, some people really like the garlic. I like the garlic. So we'll go about 1.5 on that. Tomato, again, up to you. Aromas work great. I happen to have this one, not aroma. I'm going to dice it. You want a lot, you want a little. Just do your thing with it. We're going to use a little lime juice now. Lots of ways to do that. Easiest way for me is to grab a lime. Picked this up yesterday at my handy dandy Mexican grocery store. Slice it in half, make sure there's no seeds showing, and I know there's ways to do it. Just squeeze it, guys. Just squeeze it. We're gonna get a lot in there. The juice from a half of a lime. We will be taste testing this in a little while, And there's lots of ways to mash this up. Easiest way is a fork, but of course you can grab your masher if you want. So we're just going to mash, mix, and mash. About the chunking level that I'm looking for. Let's get it up on the fork so you can see it. That's about what I'm going for, and that smells fantastic. We're going to move this to another bowl that has a lid on it and refrigerate it. This is best when all of these flavors are chilled and combined. You can also add a little salt and pepper if you like. I'm going to lay off of the salt because of my diet. And that's it. Guacamole. To sous vide, we're just going to use our Ninja Foodi. This is the best thing I've got around here for sous vide. I've got a couple things that'll do it. This one does it best. It has a large pot. All you got to do is put your Clod steak in a freezer Ziploc baggie. Make sure it's a freezer one and not a sandwich one. It needs to be able to hold up to heat for a long period of time. Press out the air the best you can. Submerge it underwater and put it in the Foodie. Welcome back. It's been about 8 hours. Our Clod steak has been sous videing the entire time, and we're about to pull that out of the water, and we're going to sear it in our Ninja Combi. So what I like to do when I sear, I'm going to use the big tray it comes with. I'm going to get it up there on the top level, and we're just preheat it. So we're just going to throw it on air fry, 390 degrees, and let it rock for about 5 minutes. And then we'll grab that steak, throw it on, keep it on air fry, 3-4 minutes on each side. Just put a sear. We just want to put a sear on. We're not trying to raise that internal temperature very much. So we'll be back in just a few minutes after the preheat and put that steak on. This is the Clod steak. I've just removed it from the baggie, drained the liquid. I did a temperature probe on it, instant read. We're looking thick end, thin end are slightly different, but we're averaging around 135-ish. So we're just going to be aware of that. So that will determine how long we want to leave it in our combi. We don't want to leave it in there too long. We're not trying to really change the temperature too much. We're trying to just get a fast sear right on this top and right on the bottom. It will change it slightly, obviously, but very minimal. All right, so that was about 5 minutes. Don't forget, guys, this stuff is smoking hot. And I was going to say I wanted to hear a sizzle. Pretty sure you heard that. Now we will flip it. So we're just going to keep an eye on things. Go about 4 minutes on this side, 3-4 minutes, 3-4 minutes on the other side. All right, that was a little over 3 minutes. Ignore that. I accidentally hit the power button, so it restarted, but I was timing it. So we're going to go ahead and just do a quick flip. Now remember, we are real close to that element. Oh, a little stickage there. There we go. Yeah. Give it about 3 minutes or so on that side. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you, I didn't show it. I did season the steak with pink salt, garlic powder, and black pepper before. And I know I'm putting guac on it, so I didn't put too much because I really want the flavor of the guacamole to come through. And here is our Guac Clod. I know, that's weird, right? But this is what we got. Got my homemade guacamole on top. Now we'll have a lot more on the plate when we cut and serve for dipping. This is a little more for presentation than anything else. But look at that steak, isn't it really good looking? Well, we're about to find out. We are going to attack this side right there. And I'm going to cut you guys a piece. Let's see how we did with our sous vide and our, where can I cut without a shadow? Our sous vide and our sear. Oh yes, I can already see the juices running. That's one thing we always look for. We have plenty of pink running through. This would be about a medium for us. Should be about 140-ish in the temperature scale. Look at the texture. So this is probably a little more along the lines of a roasted beef texture, although we did manage to get it pretty darn tender. I just went right on through all that. That's fantastic. Let's give it a taste, y'all. Let me show you the side shot first. The big picture. Look at that. So for us here, that's perfect temperature to eat. Other people might want it a little less. In case you could just throw it on 135 on your sous vide or something like that. So my goal here was to get a generally tough piece of meat, very tender. Let's find out. Okay, this is the exact same piece that I just cut for you guys on the camera. Let's go. Oh yeah. Tender. Bit chewy, little connective tissue in there. Easy to chew, easy to swallow. That was really good. I'm gonna go for one more piece with just a little bit of the old guacamole on there to get the whole flavor of everything going. Oh, well, that changed things. That's good. Plenty of meat flavor. The avocado didn't overpower it, but you can definitely taste the avocado. The tomatoes are in there. Good thing I didn't put too many of those in. That would have been too much acid, I think. But this came out just perfect. Pretty easy to do. And I will give you a pro tip here. Clod steak is very cheap. That giant steak there cost us, cut.
It was $4.97 a pound.
This giant piece of meat here was $4.97 a pound. That's, how many pounds was that? Any idea?
That I didn't see the label. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's probably a couple pounds. This is equivalent to the price of a not great cut of roast. This is better. So you can treat it like a steak or you can treat it like a roast. This will be up to you. Just remember, slow cook in some manner. You can braise this one. I wouldn't pressure cook it, but I could do a long braise on it, which means just sear, put it in some liquid, and let it cook all day. You can slow cook it. You get the idea. Anything that's going to take a long time to break down that tissue. Anyway, that was very good. Thanks for watching. I'm going to enjoy this tonight. We're going to have a little Brussels sprouts on the side. You might not like Brussels sprouts, but I do. So a little Brussels sprouts will go really good with this. And a little more guac for dipping. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. Click that like button. That's the main deal on YouTube these days. Click that like button, guys. Subscribe if you want. And I've also got memberships if you want. So if you want to help support the channel a little bit, you can sign up for that too. It's all right there in the description. That's it. Thanks for watching.